What is going on, movie meals? Movie meals. Kyle and Al are back for their WandaVision after show review, episode 8, right? The finale's
Yep.
next. This was episode 8.
Finale's
Um,
next. Yeah.
so before we get into it, thank you to Steve, Kimberly, and Karen, our patrons. If you are not a member of the Patreon, go. It's down linked in the description. Go be a member of the Patreon. Um, and check out all the other great stuff we've got on. Dropped a new episode of Another Happy Landing, my Star Wars podcast with our good friend of the show and buddy Tanner, who that's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, all that great stuff, as well as YouTube. Get some of our merch.
Yeah. Oh, you're wearing.
I miss the
So am I.
movies. Yeah, I was actually wearing the hoodie this morning too. Actually, I'm
Nice.
gonna be honest. I wore this yesterday. I slept in this, in the hoodie and in the shirt, and
hmm
I'm wearing it all day today.
It's
Just
too
one of those
comfortable.
lazy days. It is very comfortable. This shirt is very comfortable, and
Mm.
uh, I love the yellow of this one. Funny
I could
enough, it
sleep in
looks.
this hoodie.
I slept in mine last night.
There you go.
But WandaVision, we're here, so let's get into it. Kyle, why don't you take this one off? Start this one. What'd you think of this week's episode, the penultimate episode to the finale?
Penultimate episode. Yeah. I really enjoyed this, and the main reason why I enjoyed this so much is because the episode ended up being giving context to the evolution of Wanda leading up to where we're at right now. I
Yeah.
mean, it shows her childhood when she was living in Sokovia. It shows moments leading up to Civil War, or just a moment that was really important to her between her and Vision that I thought was like a really good establishing point for the relationship as compared to what we were initially shown in Civil War. And I was really liking that, and it made sense because when she and Agnes are finally meeting, or Agatha, excuse me, when Agatha and her are finally meeting, Agatha doesn't know who she is or what she is. She doesn't know that her powers maybe not came from an Infinity Stone. Like, she doesn't know how she grew up, this and that. She only just suddenly sees
Yeah.
that the entire town is just flipped backwards, and she's like, who is this magical person that has this capability? And so I like that was a good excuse for us to give more backstory and more context to Wanda's character. And I also was really appreciative about how they got about with her mourning the loss of Vision, because I think like us, all of us, we all thought that she went crazy first, and then she stormed Sword, and then got the body of Vision. But it looks like instead, she just came to mourn and to grieve. But then, despite her doing that and then walking away calmly, she still was in mourning, and she still was, or what it seems like, she still was the one that
Yeah.
caused, the town to flip all screwy. And also they gave good context and good reasoning to why she loves sitcoms so much. I thought that it made a lot of sense, and it was really well handled. So I just was appreciative that we're finally giving some light onto Wanda and diving deeper. She's been such a secondary character, and now people are understanding like her backstory more, understanding her powers more. There's still some mystery that we might get into later, because there was questions answered for the most part, but I think there's still a few things left. I think my only downside, and we'll probably get into this later, is the after credit scene. Right now I'm hesitant about what the after credit scene is
Wow.
gonna be, but we'll talk about that more. I want to hear what Alex thinks though, because I haven't heard anything from
Um,
him.
this episode is going to be divisive, I think. I don't know if I've seen that from the common fan online, but because you expect for the penultimate it to start really building up a big fight,
Mm-hmm.
and or to have a lot of action, and it's a character piece. I really love it. um I agree with everything you said. I love really fleshing out Wanda. I think it's really helping and showing her power. And I remember you said that you weren't a huge fan of the security footage
Yep.
thing of her breaking into it. And I remember being like, well, that might be something they show down the line or reveal. And they did. They ended
Yeah.
up revealing that she never actually broke in, and that is fake
Lesson
footage.
learned, folks.
And I like that they've taken their time to reveal is my point there. And I like that morning scene a lot. I thought it was great. And then for her to go to where Vision thought they could maybe build a house in a small town. And her grief just takes over in her power. It has retconned her a little bit, is what the narrative is online right now, because that she has actually had her powers all along, and that the stone just enhanced it. Um, and a lot of people are like, they're retconning
Mm-hmm.
the stupid parts of the MCU, and it's like, okay, calm down, you idiots. First of all, they're not retconning anything. This is new information. If this is true, it's just new information that even Wanda wasn't aware of. So why would the viewers be aware of it? First of all. Second of all, they didn't have the ability to say mutants. This was always Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige's plan was to always have her be like that. That was his first idea. It was a smart idea for her to get her power from the stone. It worked. It made sense. Whether it was him or Joss Whedon who came up with it, but I think her having some sort of ability before is fine, and maybe that's how they handle mutants, is that some people have a small, tiny amount of ability, but the Infinity Stones unlock it, which could mean that mutants are around now, either with her explosion or with just the fact that, like Rocket said in Endgame, how Earth is like now is crazy with seismic energy because of the snap. So maybe a lot of mutants' powers are unlocking. But I really liked the episode. I think fleshing out is perfect. It was 47 minutes. It was longer. This next episode, I think people are gearing up for an hour, and I don't think we'll get it. I bet you we get a same about
Mhm.
45-minute episode, 40 to 45-minute episode, which I'm fine with. I've loved this show. I'm all in on. I'm really excited for the documentary that they're supposed to be releasing next, the following week, about the making of it. I really like this episode. I think when you really I think when it first ended, I was like, did I love that episode? It was not what I was expecting. And then the more I've thought about it, the more I really liked it. And Agatha too. After reading about her as in the comics, just a little quick description of her like history. I remember going, man, I bet you the next episode opens up with her in Salem, and that's exactly what happened. I remember when it opened up, I was like, yep, got it. And I wanted to see it. I was excited. And I like that she kind of absorbed her mother's power and the other witch's power. And she's kind of she seems anti-hero-esque, that her motivation is not I'm bad to be bad. Her motivation is one, I want to be a powerful witch, and using dark magic is better for her, but she understands the threat that Wanda is. And I love that we finally get her name, and she calls her the Scarlet Witch. I thought that was awesome. And that she's able to do what you're not supposed to do, which is just create with no consequences. I just really liked it. I like that they're getting into the mystical. We've gotten into the crazy sci-fi aspects, and we've touched on the mystical with Doctor Strange and Wanda, but we haven't really dove into it. I felt, even in Doctor Strange, the first one, I felt we've just got our first taste, and I really like that we're diving into the magic of Marvel now. And it makes me, her line saying you're able to create without consequence, or you're able to manifest life or something, I think proves the twins are real, and that she created the twins. And
Mhm.
it makes me
Yeah.
curious if we have a new Vision, and if Vision is going to continue to be a character or not, and if her power is going to be able to make him there when the bubble goes away. I don't know, because if it's not Vision and the kids are real, I don't know how that'll line up. But
Mhm.
and then we got the tease, which I know you want to talk about at the end, the after credit scene with White Vision, or whatever he's called in the comics. And people think that he's the big cameo and villain, that it's Ultron coming back, because James Spader is rumored to be a voice. If you like look up the IMDb, he's on there.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
but I don't know if that necessarily tells a whole lot, because fans can sometimes get in there and do things on IMDb.
Yeah, you can change.
And
Yeah.
didn't they have like a background noise of Ultron talking for a second? Um, they showed Ultron
Oh.
talking in an intro when they showed like a quick recap of like things that have happened with Wanda. So it could be just off of that. Um,
Maybe. Yeah.
but so you don't like the White Vision? You don't like him being the villain?
Well, right now I'm hesitant about it. I just don't want part of the climax to be like a Vision versus Vision battle. Like it feels lazy to me. I mean, I'm sure like there's gonna be a lot more that's gonna happen with this climax, but like that possibly being part of it just kind of rubs me the wrong way for some reason. Like I've liked how this show has gone against the grain for a lot of things, and for like a Vision versus Vision battle to probably happen, like kind of just it is not something that I'm really into all that much. I'm also kind of disappointed that the head of Sword is kind of turning into a mustache twirling bad guy of sorts.
Sure.
But again, maybe the next episode will still kind of change that. But I mean, obviously, like this guy is kind of a jerk to an extent, but at least like he's smart and he's understanding of the situation and he's just trying to be rational with the situation. So like it's not a guy that we root for, but it's a guy that we at least, understand where he's coming from with what he's trying to do. But to see him be like, and now we have our own vision, it's like, well, all right. Like it makes sense, but it's also just it just doesn't feel that amazing to me or that special to me. But obviously, like we still have one more episode. Maybe they'll surprise me with something that'll change my tune. But right now, that is just like okay. Let's see how this works. But that's not quite the route that I was expecting or that I think is very needed. But maybe
I
it'll
don't
turn around.
mind the director of Shield. I like the Vision play because it touches so much on Ultron and how Ultron was creating Vision to be for him to upload his mind
Sure.
into,
Yeah.
because he's supposed to be the ultimate super weapon. And I like the tease back to Civil War of Vision saying like, look, if I ever go down, like I don't want my body to be used that way. Like it's
Yeah.
going exactly against what he wanted because he
Hmm.
is the greatest super weapon that Tony ever built. I
Hmm.
mean, well, Tony and Vision built or Ultron built him, but and it goes a
Mark
lot
Mark helped. Bruce Banner helped.
true. And it goes back to a lot of talking about, I think, in Endgame when they say, "Oh, it's your Tony's mind, your Bruce's mind, your Ultron's mind, and you're
Hmm.
the stone, and there's just you." So I wonder if Ultron like takes over in this mode, or if like somebody takes over. The cameo could be that it's Robert Downey Jr. Maybe it's just his voice takes over for Vision's body because it's more minds at play. I do have a theory that I think if this cameo is going to be big and it is the physicist or whoever, the nerd guy that she dropped and we still have yet to meet, and it is, let's say, John Krasinski or somebody else, I think we get him at the start of the episode. I think the episode
Oh, okay.
opens with him because we got no photon. We got none of that Quicksilver stuff. I think it opens with them because the show has done that every time. Like this episode, I expected to open in the cave with Agatha, and it didn't. It
Hmm.
opened with a backstory. So I think it opens up with that guy getting there. Like getting to the bubble and being like, what on earth is going on here? And
Yeah.
then let's say it is Reed Richards, whoever's playing him. I
Hmm.
think Reed meets up with what is the FBI guy's name?
Is it? Oh, we said it a couple times. Is it Jimmy? I'll double check. But
Jimmy, yeah, that sounds right. I think he meets up with Jimmy. I think they meet at that camp. Jimmy explains the situation, and then towards the battle to get to the battle, will be them getting to there. Like we won't like they'll pop in as this is kind of unfolding. We still didn't get it. We have no Darcy. So maybe this episode will be a lot longer because they have a lot to tie in. Maybe I'm wrong. My guess is it's going to open with the cameo. It could be the cameo as a post-credit scene, could be later. But I just knowing Marvel and knowing the way that I don't understand Paul Bettany's quote. It doesn't make sense to me with him saying it's an actor I've longed to work with my whole life, and we had scenes that were like fireworks. It has to be somebody that is actively doing something in the next episode. It can't like he worked with. I mean, I guess he didn't work with James Spader because James Spader did he do mocap? Didn't James Spader do mocap? I thought he
I
did. Now that I'm thinking about, I was going to say he was just in the
hmm.
booth, but now I'm thinking he did.
Interesting. I don't know. Can
If
we?
James
Maybe
did
I'll try and
mocap,
find that.
you worked with James Spader. If he didn't do
Well,
mocap,
maybe not
you
that.
technically didn't work with
Well,
him because
that's
you've
true. I
worked
guess
with him
they.
at the end fight.
Right. Yeah, they would have to, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
if he's
I'll
there
try
on
and look that up. But
he said they were fireworks, and it's an actor he's never worked with. So I think it's somebody cast as Reed Richards or and this is a theory that I sent to Kyle yesterday that I kind of like.
he did
If
the
they
mocap.
go
Yeah.
if they go with Magneto, and people saw the M in the background in Agatha's thing that might be a tease to Magneto. If it's Magneto, I had always thought it's Michael Fassbender. And then I saw something online that I sent to Kyle yesterday that said, why on earth could it not be Sir Ian McKellen? Like, why? Why couldn't it be him at all? Like, we have the story of her in this arc. She is not the daughter of Magneto in the MCU. So why couldn't it be Magneto in some way, whether it's ripping open the multiverse, whether it's not? I would lose it for Fassbender. I would really lose it for Ian McKellen. Like I would really, I
Yeah.
don't, it's
Yeah.
still not Mark Hamill. I don't understand. It's not, nothing's going to be Mark Hamill, but
He was Gandalf.
I know he's
Gandalf's a
Gandalf,
big
but
deal. He's a big deal. He's a
no,
big deal for some.
the difference is the same universe. There's
Sure.
nobody in the Marvel universe, whether it's Fox or Disney, that could pop up and be at the level of Luke Skywalker in that moment. But if it's Sir Ian McKellen, I will really like that would be cool. And how they do it would be really cool. Now, here's another idea. Super smart guy. What if it's Beast?
Would it
Whether
be
it's Nicholas Hoult or Kelsey Grammer?
well?
That would be cool.
Well, as being the scientist, so then would he be only Hank McCoy first, or would he be in the
probably
in the Beast fur? Okay.
My guess is it would be him as Hank McCoy, and then
Right.
if it exploded and then he would become a mutant that way. It's
He
the
would
same
become
theory
Beast.
with the Fantastic Four, but Beast is possible that no one's talking about, which would be a cool kind of cameo. But then again, Kelsey Grammer and Nicholas Hoult are not even close to the level of what
disrespect Frasier.
And I kind of wish they had not said this. I'm a little bummed that I'm expecting another cameo.
Well,
it's a little obnoxious, and I love theorizing about it, and that is an advantage because I'm having fun theorizing about it. But like Elizabeth Olsen, her thing was one thing, and for Paul just said there's another cool cameo in WandaVision. That's one thing, but it's like they've built this cameo up, man. Like, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, to be fair, we make fun about this whole Luke Skywalker comparison a lot, but Elizabeth Olsen didn't say that it was like Luke Skywalker level. The question was, since the Mandalorian showed a return with Luke Skywalker, is WandaVision supposed to be expecting a cameo of that magnitude of a Luke Skywalker? And her response was yes. So like it's and then of course the media blew it out of context and whatnot, saying that she was the one that said it. But we've been making fun of it this whole time. But like she didn't exactly say it that way. But I agree though, like because of all this cameo talk that's kind of been going on with their interviews, like it has unfortunately I think led to like really big hopes for like this show instead of like really focusing on like the story of the show. You know, people are looking for what's the tease, what's next, instead of being like the teases are cool, but like let's enjoy the ride at the same time.
Yeah, I get that. I feel that. Who's your money on for next episode? If you have to put down, gun to your head, the cameo, what are you taking? Ultron, Reed Richards, Tony Stark, Rocket Raccoon, Beast, Hulk, who you taking? Doctor Strange.
I guess it would have to. I think the best guess right now is going to be Mr. Fantastic, and I know I'm the guy that's thinking.
I agree with you.
I don't think the Fantastic Four. I mean, I guess the words were like the Fantastic Four isn't showing up. But that doesn't mean that Reed Richards isn't showing up. You know,
that's what I said to you 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know, but as the show is progressing, the more I think about it, I'm like, well, I guess he has a good point there. So I guess that's like the safest bet to take. So yeah, I'm with you now. I guess that's all I can think of.
I think it is the most likely. I think that's why the fans, like the casual fan, have jumped on it so hard to be Reed Richards. I know there was that rumor that Jennifer Lawrence was cast as Sue Storm and would be.
Ignore that rumor.
She was filming.
Yeah.
And a friend of the show, said the same thing. He's like, "Do you guys hear that?" And I was like, "Dude, Kyle told me it's from like Comic Book 59. I love chickennuggets.com. Like that's not reputable at all.
It's from some newspaper, but they got that report very wrong. Just ignore it.
Yeah, I don't think they're filming Fantastic Four at all right now.
No, I mean John Watts is still working on
Yeah, he's filming
No Way
Spider-Man
Home.
currently, isn't he? Have they wrapped?
They're almost wrapping up on it, and I'm sure he still has to work at post. Plus, Australia's border rules right now, or whatever they're called for like COVID, are still like pretty hefty. So I don't think that they even have anyone like heading down there for
I'm
shooting
pretty
yet,
sure I
so.
just read too that Netflix movie that has Jennifer Lawrence in it just finished filming. I'm pretty sure I read an article that said it just wrapped filming. And that the reason we only have seen a tease of that movie is because that's all they had. So how is she in Australia? I don't look. I want if you get your dream thing, John Krasinski, Emily Blunt would be elite. Like Kevin Feige is good enough to sit back and go, man, the fans really want this. And to be honest, they're right. Like this would be
on this
awesome. Like, yes. And all right, I'm gonna throw this question out to you because we'll end the show with this question here. We both clearly love the episode. Excited for the cameo. Money's on Reed Richards, but we're happy with whatever they show.
Do you mind if I bring up Catherine Hahn, because I thought she was excellent. Like excellent. I think her acting with this character makes her like one of my favorite villains or antagonists or whatever we're calling her, because she's bad, but like she's not the one that's doing everything. At least I don't think so. But I think Catherine Hahn is putting up a tremendous performance with this. Like this episode alone, I was like, oh, you're amazing to begin with, but I love you even more now. Like she's awesome. Catherine Hahn. And Elizabeth Olsen was great too in this one.
Yeah. So we both agree. Those are our thoughts. But here's my question. Let's say it's Fantastic Four. Let's say the whole crew shows up, but they're just not the Fantastic Four yet. They don't have powers. And it's like, let's say they're about that age. We'll take John Krasinski and Emily Blunt because I think we both agree that is the dream casting, is those two. Who do you want to be Johnny, and who do you want to be why can't I think of his name? With that? Why can't I think of his name? Who plays the Thing? Yeah, Ben Grimm. Who do you want to play
Ben Grimm?
Yeah. Who do you take? Off top of your head, who do you got? Can't say Miles Teller because my brother will lose it.
Man.
And he already played a Fantastic Four character.
No, we don't need him back. It's fine. We can move past that.
I wouldn't mind him. They could use a fair shot. I wouldn't mind that whole cast getting another shot. It won't happen. I wouldn't mind it.
Especially Chalamet as the Thing.
Don't take my questions in a joking manner, sir.
Man, I don't know. There's just endless. Who do you have any names? Like I know we've had these conversations many a time. I'm just trying to think of what actors I really like right now that I would love.
You know, funny enough, if you kept the this was a problem. Well, it was a stupid problem by idiots for Josh Trank's Fantastic Four. But if you were going to have it, let's say if it is going to be Emily Blunt and you're going to have a younger brother, I wouldn't mind John Boyega being Johnny Storm. I think he could do a really good job. And I think he's just a class A talent when it comes to acting. He got screwed with Star Wars. And I know his relationship is apparently okay from a last interview he gave, but he would be a great Johnny Storm. Or the Thing. But I think him as Johnny Storm would be really cool. Is the first name that popped into my head more than anything. I still preach for the Game of Thrones actors, but they're both the guys I would have said are in the Eternals. Richard Madden and Kit Harington are. So I won't say those two because Kit Harington would be great. I've always thought Andrew Lincoln, he's a little older to be a younger brother, but he could be the Thing. I always thought him, he plays Rick on The Walking Dead, would be great in the MCU. I actually thought him for Adam Warlock for a long time would be perfect.
Oh, right. Yeah. But for some reason, Daniel Kaluuya's name popped into my head. But I mean, we just watched
would be
Judas
cool.
and the Black Messiah. I mean,
but he's also in Black Panther. He wouldn't work. He's in Black Panther.
I guess it's a sizable role too. Yeah. But I mean, we've seen lots of like lesser known characters be played by almost the same actors at times. But I guess that one would be kind of noticeable as compared to
Chris
the rest,
Evans comes back.
They signed him. They did sign him for something.
Chris Pine would be great as I think I mean, honestly, he could be Mr. Fantastic. I think he could be Johnny Storm. He might be a little older for the same age. Maybe you got to go twins
Mhm.
with the two of them, or the Thing. Bring Chris Pine in because he honestly is probably the
Oh,
most talented of all the Chris's in Hollywood. He would be
oh,
awesome.
Hell or High Water with Chris Pine. Who played opposite of him? What's that actor's name?
Wasn't that
The
Aaron Taylor Johnson?
No, not in Hell or High
No, it
Water.
was
Oh, what's it?
um
Because he'd be a good Ben Grimm, actually.
wasn't it the
I think.
guy who was
Let me
in
look it
the
up.
John Carter Mars movie? Isn't he the lead for John Carter Goes to Mars or whatever?
Are we thinking of different movies?
No, I don't think we
um,
are.
let me.
That's
Sorry,
who
let me
I'm
look. Ben
thinking.
Foster. I'm thinking of Ben Foster.
Oh,
Who are you thinking of?
I was thinking of he also
Taylor
plays in
Kitsch?
the yes, Taylor Kitsch. Taylor Kitsch I think would be good. I like Taylor
I
Kitsch.
haven't.
He got a good he was good as what's his face? Gambit. I liked his Gambit. Um
That it's fine. I just want to forget that
Ben
movie anyway.
Foster would be cool. He was really great in Lone Survivor. I know the movie gets a little flack in the military community, but he was really great in that.
Hmm.
Honestly, Toby Kebbell, I know he played Dr. Von Doom, but I would love him to get another role in the MCU.
Hmm.
He would be awesome in some spot in any of those roles.
Hmm.
Uh, had Emily Blunt not been, our kind of dream casting and Florence Pugh not been picked, I would have immediately said Florence
Oh
Pugh
yeah, yeah,
for Sue.
for
And
sure.
if you're going younger, another really great Sue would be Saoirse Ronan. She would be awesome.
Hmm. Yeah,
She could bring it.
sure.
But if you're
I
going with the older cast, like John Krasinski age 30, 40s,
I wouldn't be shocked if they cast unknowns. I wouldn't be shocked if they went the Eternals route and got like a bunch of A-list or
yeah.
actors, or at least familiar actors. Who knows? I'm sure like they'll be able to do a good job. They're usually always pretty top notch when it comes to casting. They have great
Daisy
casting
Ridley would
directors
be a
over there.
great Sue Storm as well. I think Daisy Ridley could come in and work that role hard.
Star
We were
Wars cast,
just
come on down.
we were just talking because I filmed next week's Another Happy Landing this morning
Mm-hmm.
and talking about the news with Daisy Ridley saying she's now suddenly open to Star Wars again, and I was saying the money must be a little dry here in COVID. You need that Disney dump truck backing in. And hey, if you want to get in Marvel, I'd be down. Yeah, those would be. We didn't really say a lot for the Thing. Is there anybody with the physical presence that could handle the Thing strongly? Because you think like, because who
Uh,
played him? Who played him in the original two?
Chickless did. Why am I spacing on his
Yeah,
first
Michael
name? But
Chiklis.
Chickless is Michael Chickless. Yeah.
And he's
Um,
good. He's stronger. But a guy who'd be great in that role that just came into my head, Joel Edgerton. He would be
that wouldn't be
great.
bad either. Yeah, yeah.
He would
For
be
me,
great.
I don't really think of like the physicality of like casting when it comes to the thing. I think of like the mannerism and the persona of him being
Sure.
gruff and tough, but like a sweetheart on the inside. And for some reason, and that's why I said like Ben Hardy, because I think he could kind of do that.
Ben Foster.
Or Ben Foster, excuse me. I had a bunch of names jumbled up there.
Yeah, mixed up
Ben,
Ben and Tom
yeah,
Hardy.
yeah, really. Tom Hardy, why not bring him in? Because
Please.
with the CGI, you can make the Thing be as big as he wants to. So
Yeah.
that's usually what I think of first
All
when it
right.
comes to the casting
Well,
like that.
we'll think on it, and then if they do reveal the
Yeah,
Fantastic Four in this next episode, we'll have some cool
yeah.
conversations. Because hopefully, if they do go with them, they pick some people we really like. And even if it's not John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, I mean, there are some names like John David Washington's been thrown around. He would be great for Mr. Fantastic, or
Sure.
Johnny
Yeah.
Storm, or Ben Grimm. To me, I mean, he's a talent.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Driver would be great. There's a lot of really
That'd
good
be an
ones out there,
interesting.
but
Adam Driver would be interesting too. Yeah.
Adam Driver as
Who
Johnny
knows? It could be
Storm
anyone.
would be cool because Johnny Storm is so different than what I think we've seen him do. Because
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see him play like the cock, and he kind of does in that movie with um Daniel Radcliffe, where he plays kind of like the cocky friend.
The
But
rom-com. Yeah, I
yeah,
forget the name of it now.
but we've
yeah,
never seen him like
that's a good movie.
really play like a cocky jock kind of character, and that would be cool because you get whiny in Star Wars, and which makes sense. He's a Skywalker, but he would be a cool pick. I'm
Watch
gonna
all
think
of
on
his.
more picks and text you
Yeah,
all week about picks.
I love it. I love it. Watch this all fall apart when the reveal is like, I don't know.
Beast.
It's some when it's Beast. Yeah. Then we have to go
Yeah.
back to square one.
Actual Quicksilver, or yeah, maybe Aaron Taylor Johnson comes back. Might be the big cameo. Who knows?
Why not?
Yeah.
We'll
All right,
see,
guys.
I
What did you
guess.
think for a long episode here as we dove off for 10 minutes? Thank you again to our patrons. You guys are amazing. If you want to be a member of the Patreon, go join that. It would really mean a lot to us. Go get some of our merch. Go get this merch. I miss the movies. It's awesome stuff. I really do too.
Mm-hmm.
All
We're
right,
close,
guys.
though. It'll be back. They'll come
Hopefully.
back. Hopefully.
All right, guys. Thank you. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, and share. And as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.